The Black Ops 6 integration has created as many issues as it has solved as many problems. We've already talked about the issues, and I'll link that video at the end, but let's talk about some solutions, some ways to make your game play better, your gunfights feel better, and how for you to win more gunfights inside of the Black Ops 6 Warzone. Today, I've got for you 5 tips on how to improve your gunplay inside of Warzone so you can get the most out of your time, out of your grind, and out of your guns for while you're playing and trying to have fun out there. Up first, I'm going to give you a tip about some optics. One of the things that people haven't paid that much of attention to is the fact that you do have access to, and are probably not taking advantage of, the fact that we have a whole toggleable just amount of stats on the side of the screen. Let me move myself out of the way here. So whenever you get in there, you can hit right trigger, you can pull up your stats, or you can hit 2 on your keyboard and you'll pull up the stats and you'll be able to see all the different things that each attachment is doing for your gun. But one thing that people haven't been paying attention to, and is absolutely amazing if you're going to be playing big maps specifically, is that not all sights are created equal. If you use the Jason Armory 2X, the Willis 3X, or the Prismatech 4X, and the Dobrik 4X, you'll see it actually gives you a 30% recoil kick buff, meaning that your gun will be more accurate and kick around less if you're running these optics. Running the Jason Armory 2X is absolutely perfect for Area 99 or Urzikstan. You can start using the 3 or 4s if you want inside of Urzikstan as well to get that bonus and still get a little bit more range. But the 2X is just enough zoom to be able to fight inside of Urzikstan and inside of Area 99 without feeling like you're too zoomed in. It's a beautiful sight, and it's absolutely lovely on every AR and actually most SMGs in the game. So if you're looking for some way to cut down on the amount of kick that your gun has, but you already use your muzzle and your grip, this right here is going to absolutely do wonders for the way that you approach your guns and your gunfights. The next tip is when to run rapid fire. A lot of people choose to run rapid fire a lot, and I don't think people really understand when is the best time to actually utilize rapid fire on your guns. One of the most important things, again, is this stat menu. You can go in here and you can actually select rapid fire, and you'll see that with rapid fire, every gun is going to receive a damage nerf and a rate of fire buff. But at the same time, you're also increasing your gun kick, your vertical horizontal recoil, you're reducing your bullet velocity, and you're dropping your damage range and your damage over range. This is absolutely made to turn any gun specifically into a sniper support. So if the gun is already a sniper support, this is probably not going to do very well for it. But for guns like the XM4, if you're looking to run this with a sniper's a whole nother problem. But while we're doing this, if you're looking to run this as a sniper or a primary up-close weapon, something like rapid fire will work on something like the XM4. But if you go down and you grab yourself the AS-Val and you look at it, rapid fire absolutely is awful. You're increasing the rate of fire by 10%, but you're losing 11% on your damage and on your range and increasing your recoil a ton. So weapons like the AS-Val that are already meant for close quarters, rapid fire is an overall loss. But if you're using something like any of the other ARs for the most part, I think the AK is the only other one that doesn't do well with rapid fire. It's a 2% buff and 6% loss. Yeah, so the AK is the other one that does not do well with rapid fire. But most of the ARs actually do pretty decent with rapid fire if you want to convert them into a sniper support. You can also do this with the SMGs. The SMGs also can hit or miss based on the choice, but you can always go into your stat menu and see. Something like the C9 with rapid fire is absolutely wonderful. An increase of 12% to your rate of fire, but only a loss of 8% to your damage. That means you're netting about a 4% increase to most of your damage output, and it keeps it a close quarters one. This is going to be mostly like an Area 99 style, but this is going to give you absolutely shredding damage inside CQC. And while we're talking about this, let's talk about the other one that offers a similar idea, which is the CHF barrel. The CHF barrel is coming in, it's going to hurt your bullet velocity and your recoil control, but generally is going to increase your neck shot damage. Now, if you played the Black Ops multiplayer, you know that this does increase your headshot damage, but they thought that was a bit much for Warzone. So what it essentially does is it converts your neck shot damage into headshot damage, making it basically a double-size headshot hitbox. So these are going to be usually chosen not with rapid fire because the increased amount of recoil between both of them is going to be a lot. You're going to lose a lot of bullet velocity at the same time, and generally with the range loss and the bullet velocity loss, the overall loss of damage from the rapid fire and then the loss of recoil control for both of them, it's going to make most guns uncontrollable. But you're generally going to run the rapid fire on something that benefits heavily from getting a rate of fire bonus without losing too much to its damage, whereas the CHF barrel, you're looking for something that is about headshots making or breaking the weapon. So anything that you see that has a massive number for its damage on headshots, that's going to be one of the ones you're going to want to go for. So like the Tonto going from 57 to 60, pretty good, whereas something like the Compact 92 going from 25 to 26, not nearly as worth. So you want to make sure you look at those numbers to make sure that when you adjust them and increase the headshot damage, that it's actually going to matter for what you're increasing. Something like the Jackal from 41 to 43, maybe not as much, whereas something like the Saw going from 30 to 32, that does kick it up by reducing the TTK by 1 bullet most of the time. It's a good choice. Now, I said I would get into snipers. Right now, snipers are in an absolute terrible position. They are functional, they can be used, but you're generally going to have to work a lot harder for snipers now than you were anywhere towards the end of the Urzikstan Modern Warfare 3 era snipers. The snipers now, none of them really one-shot headshot at all ranges, but all of them offer a one-shot headshot range, meaning even the LAB and the SPX now have one-shot headshot ranges. They're generally like 50 meters and less, and most of the Modern Warfare 2 weapons are mostly 50 meters and less, with the exception of the Victus going out to 99 meters, and then most of the brand new Black Ops ones are 50 meters to 75, with the L762 going all the way up to 85 meters. But one of the issues that they brought back, which was a quality of life change that we actually got at the end of the Modern Warfare 3 area, is the aiming idle sway, meaning whenever you would ADS, the optic would no longer be centered where the center of your screen was. And basically what was happening was you would ADS and you would have to still readjust even if you were 100% accurate on where you were aiming. Well, now that is back. That quality of life has been lost along with quite a few others. And so now to get that same quality of life change back, you're required to run one of the most annoying attachments that is kind of helpful right now, which is the target laser. The target laser takes your ADS idle sway and it makes it, basically increases it by 100%. So the aiming idle sway is 1010 milliseconds, which is literally 1 second. It's about the same time it takes you to ADS this thing, meaning by the time you start ADSing, this thing is already starting to sway. Whereas if you use the target laser, it doubles it essentially. This makes it almost 3 seconds worth of time before it starts swaying, allowing you to actually ADS and be on target for when you first shoot. This is extremely useful for the snipers, as you're going to want to land those shots as quickly as possible. All of the scopes pretty much drop just a massive Eye of Sauron style like scope glint, so you're going to really want to get these shots off and get moving, because otherwise you're just standing out for everyone to see. And even though the TTK over range is not great for ARs, LMGs right now, you can still get beamed to death, because right now there's a massive amount of team shot coming in because people are realizing an extremely slow TTK over range means that everybody just needs to shoot at one person at a time. And if you've got, again, the Eye of Sauron glaring from your forehead, you're probably going to be the first target. So with the nerf to snipers being effective at not every range anymore and the giant scope glint, this is going to be massive for making sure that you can be an effective sniper without getting picked off instantaneously. This can be used on other ARs and LMGs as well if you're looking to try to be able to get those shots off quickly. This can help with that. It would primarily be used in a gunfighter build where you can run a lot of attachments, as it's not going to be one that you're going to want to run whenever you don't have access to an additional attachment. There's no sense in losing like recoil control or recoil kick reduction from like an optic. This is primarily going to be a 6th or 7th or 8th attachment choice for an AR LMG if you're running it as your primary. And then finally, the last thing I really want to cover, and this is going to go a really long way for making your gunfights feel just a lot more consistent, and that is going to be a actual combo of choices. It is the gain twist barrel with the choice of running overpressured ammo. So you're going to see right here, I've got it on the Krig. The Krig is actually a pretty reliable AR. It's feeling a very good middle of the ground where it's got enough damage up close to where you can hurt some people and not have to run an SMG, but still can get those long-range damages. The Krig has been a very reliable gun. I've maxed it out today, and it felt pretty good the whole time it was being ran. But one of the issues in this game is they went through and they absolutely nerfed the living crap out of all bullet velocities in the game. For all ARs, SMGs, LMGs, everything. The bullet velocities went just straight to the crapper. And for those of you that were unfamiliar with what we learned inside of Modern Warfare 3, it's that the game actually has a hit scan timer inside the game. So anything that you can do in the first half second, 500 milliseconds worth of travel time, it's essentially enough hit scan. So what we can do is there's actually a formula. It's bullet velocity divided by 2 and then times 10%, and you get basically your hit scan range. Well, what you can do is you can take the gain twist barrel, which it gives you a massive amount of bullet velocity increase, and then you can take overpressured, that gives you an even more massive amount of bullet velocity increase. And essentially enough, what you can do is you can turn most of the ARs in most of their comfortable ranges into hit scan. So right now at 1260 on my bullet velocity, this gun is roughly hit scan up to 61 or 63 meters, meaning that I don't have to lead anywhere until after 63 meters. And you can do that with any of the ARs or any of the LMGs to get an absolute just beam straight out of the box. And it makes it a lot easier to be able to keep those fights going that you are probably losing and you don't even realize why you're missing so much. So taking something like the AIMS has an insane bullet velocity, 1282. You've got multiple. The Model L has a really good bullet velocity of 1451 with a really good damage model. This is probably one of the most effective long-range ARs, not just because its damage is really good, but also because its insane bullet velocity is going to make this thing absolutely beam. And then when you take that, and I'm going to show you one more sneaky trick right now. If you take that and you go into the firing range, you can press down on your D-pad twice to pull up this, or you can press X on your keyboard and mouse to, your keyboard to pull up this. And basically what you're going to learn is that all of the guns in the game now have a predictable recoil pattern. Now, they had a semi-predictable recoil pattern previously, but it's a lot more predictable now than it used to be. As you're going to see, it traces essentially enough the same line over and over again, meaning that now with an extremely high bullet velocity, this will be something that you'll actually be able to learn, these recoil patterns, and you'll be able to absolutely destroy people. Now, again, the TTK is extremely slow, so making sure that you land every bullet is more important now than ever. So take these little tips that I've brought to you today and go out and absolutely start dominating people. People are going to be asking you, what are you running? And realistically, the answer isn't what, but it's how. So hopefully this helped you get a bunch of wins, and at least if not a bunch of wins, just make you have a lot better time out there while they continue working on some of the bugs and some of the issues that they've actually introduced by removing some of the quality of life things that we used to have. But again, like I said before, I've got a couple of videos I'll link for you here at the end. Some more information that might help you be able to have some more fun here inside of the Warzone. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace.